And I have our Dean, that is Dean Brian Knief, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, that I would like to ask him and invite him to the stage. He would like to make welcome remarks to the community member that come from the greater community and also university community.
I'm told if I just stand close enough to Ann, you'll all be able to hear me, so I hope you know. As Ann said, I'm Brian Knief. I'm Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and I wanted to just take a minute before we introduce our performers to welcome you to the university, to welcome our own University of Scranton students. Are you guys college students?
You look like you are.
Would you like to be college students?
Yeah.
So maybe if you do real well today, we can make a deal to keep you. We'll talk to your teachers afterwards. But welcome here very much. We're very excited to have you, to have our teachers from the community, to have other folks from the Scranton community. This is a very, very big week for us in all kinds of ways, as you know. I mean, it's the week of our presidential inauguration, which began on Friday with a celebration of service in the Scranton region, which will continue through next weekend. And it's, you know, a great thing about inaugurations is that you're celebrating your past, 480 years almost of Jesuit higher education, and looking forward towards the future. So with that being said, it's altogether fitting and appropriate that we have these additional activities going on this week. So yesterday I was able to attend a beautiful performance by the Chai Found Music Workshop, whom we'll be meeting in a moment. Went home that night with their CD playing in my car to see this beautiful full moon to remind me that it is also the Moon Festival today. So the planets are aligned for you to be here and for everything to come together perfectly. So let me just once again say welcome to be here. Thank you for being here with us as we look forward to the future. This is the kind of partnership, the kind of collaboration that our future is all about. So it's a very, very exciting time. I'm going to hand this off to Ann, who will introduce our musicians.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Okay, I hope that everybody can clap your hands and give a warm welcome to our musicians, okay, from Chai Found Music Workshop. Okay. Okay, the first one here is Teacher Wu, and then we have Teacher Lin here, Len Li, Miss Li, Director Huang, Miss Lin, and Miss Li. These are our 6 musicians today. So let's welcome Chai Found Music Workshop, the first score. 行街, wandering on the street. Thank you very much. Okay, now I think I don't think I need a microphone. I'm very loud, so I think I'm loud enough. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to introduce the nature of Chinese chamber music. You just hear orchestra performance here, right? So then let's see the next page. We are going to have a description of the music style to see whether you find that's true, okay? Okay, how many of you see the symbol on the bottom right? Many of you see that symbol? Yes, very good. What is that? You do, great.
Fishes.
Yes, huh?
Fishes.
What?
Fishes.
Fishes, yes, yes. The fishes resemble the sign black and white on the right, right? So what would that be? You saw that before. Okay, that's a symbol for, that's okay. That's a symbol for Taiji, that is a great ultimate. It's a symbol of qi. Or in Star Wars, we call it the force. So may the force be with you. That's the yin-yang element to talk about the two great cosmic forces coming together. So, okay, so let's talk about the music first. Chinese music originated about 2,000 years ago for various reasons, not simply for entertainment, but also more for military use as well. When you initiated the war, you need to have the music to kind of help to motivate the spirit of military, but also, for example, there are certain musicians, they created as an art form for, to perform at the court for the emperors and empresses and so on. So there are many reasons for music to originate. At the beginning, there are 8 different categories based upon how the instruments are made. So here you see that the material that are used for instrument include metal, stone, silk, bamboo, earth, leather, clay, and wood. Okay, so those are typical 8 different elements used for making instruments. Okay, so Sizhu on the title, silk and bamboo, Chinese chamber music, actually coming later. It started about 19th century. The music in southern China, tea houses, as I mentioned earlier, the music was named silk and bamboo because in Chinese chamber music here, there are 2 major categories of instruments that we are familiar today. One is called wind instrument. So we have the flute there, wind instrument, that use air to produce the sound. And we also have string instruments. So the majority of the instruments today we have, starting from Erhu, okay, Guzheng, Ruan, Yangqin, Pipa, all these are string instruments. In the old time, all the strings are made of silk. The flute is made of bamboo. That is why Chinese chamber music are called silk and bamboo. That's how we say it in Chinese. Okay, silk and bamboo. So we can learn one Chinese word today. Si, zu, si, si means silk. Zu, zhu means bamboo. So that becomes almost like the proper name for Chinese chamber music. We just call it Sizhu music. So that's how the name was derived. Okay, now on the right-hand side, I have some other element, some other description here. Okay, so Chinese music, slightly different from Western music in this way. That is the idea about harmony. Is slightly different from the Western music in this way. That is, each of these instruments, I don't know whether earlier you hear it, but later on they are going to play again. You may try to hear it. That is, each of these instruments, they can play, like when they play, even in an orchestra setting, like a solo performer. So the sound do not fade away. Like when in jazz, Sometimes we have one instrument, for example, a trumpet or a saxophone, that become the main instrument, the other sound faded away, right? So in Sizhu music here, each of them play like a solo, but they do not fade away when they come together to play a part in that whole performance. So that is what, also in that regard, Chinese chamber music, Sizhu music, is very much like a synthesis of Western orchestra and Western jazz in that regard. It's like jazz in a sense, each of them can play solo, but it also has a lot of freedom and room for them to improvise. They can create or add some other notes into it when they see fit, but then they also play harmoniously together with the other members. So that's kind of like an orchestra. Okay? All right, so that is a manifestation of the circle at the bottom here. On the left is yin, on the right is yang. And then we have the two fishes. That is from nature, kind of symbolizing the yin-yang rotation, complementarity rather than conflict with one another. Because all the curvy lines means they change to each other like fluid, seamlessly. But then in each side, for example, the dark shade, that usually is a gentler force, kind of symbolized by the moon, that it has a white dot in the middle. That means even in the gentle force, there is the presence of a yang element or the positive energy or like the sun element. So on the white side, you have the yang or like the sun. But then you have a dark dot in the middle. So that means potentially they can interchange into one another. But together, they create creative tension, that encourage imagination, creativity, and that is what chamber music is trying to do. Okay? All right. Now we are going to move into the next one. So Erhu is this one, two-string instrument. Guzheng is that particular instrument. And then we have a Ruan, that is that instrument. Yangqin, the next one, Pipa, and the Dizi. Those are 6 major instruments in Chinese chamber music. So now we are going to talk about Erhu. Okay? Erhu is kind of like a violin, but the difference is violin has 4 strings. Erhu only have 2 strings. Violin, the whole body of the violin made of wood. So the sound is produced by to resonate within the wooden body. But Erhu here, you see what does that look like? Yay! You get a prize today. Okay, so here is the python skin. Here's the python skin. Okay? So Erhu produces a very unique sound. In a sense, it's not just a wooden body, but it has a skin, a python skin, so that produces a very unique vibration, sound, and timbre. Okay? And the bow here, okay, in the old time, it was made of a bamboo, very thin bamboos, but the flexibility is not as good. So nowadays, it's made of horse hairs. Horse hairs, so it produces more vibrant sound. Okay, so you see that at the bottom there, it mentioned that Erhu can produce a sound resembling horse whinnying. Am I right? Yes? Erhu可以拉一个那个。Wow! Can we do that again? Horse whinnying? Very good, very good. 你Erhu还有在做什么？还是只有做这样子？你要不要做一点点？ Very good, very good. Okay, so this is the Erhu instrument. 就是这样，是不是 ？Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wang. Okay, the next instrument is also called Chinese Dizi. That is called Guzheng. Is this particular instrument, Guzheng, a string instrument. Okay, and this particular instrument was using the plucking and the pressing skills and so on. But it is also very versatile. Depending upon the composers, it can hit the side of the zither, guzheng, produce a kind of sound, the sound like a drum. It has 21 strings and so on, depending upon how thick the string is. The thinner the string, the higher the pitch. The thicker the skin, the lower the pitch. I think that's intuitive, right? Okay, and then this is such a versatile instrument that it can produce a sound like a bird or the sound like a tiger, right? That's okay. I will do that. 你要做一个鸟的声音。你等一下，先要做鸟吗？好。Okay, listen to this now. It's the sound of the bird. OK， 虎，老虎，虎声，可以吗？Is that female tiger or male tiger? Okay, I'm sorry, it's a joke. That in Chinese culture and so on, sometimes we call a very very high-spirited women. We call them 母老虎. That means female tiger. So I was making a joke there. Okay, now Yixuan, do you want to play a song after are you going to do similar kind of thing? Like 黄老师会做一个简短的，是不是？每一个乐器都会有一个简短的。Okay, 我现在先介绍一下。Okay. So this particular instrument is also interesting in the sense that it's very much like a harp. In Western instruments, but harp play horizontal, vertically, and the guzheng play horizontally. And so now Yixuan, Miss Lin is going to play a short song for us. 啊？什么？没关系。我现在要简短一点，因为时间有点超过了。Thank you. Okay, the next one is the instrument that is called Ruan xian, or sometimes we just use the first letters of that whole word, R-U-A-N, Ruan for short, to call the same kind of instrument. All right, you will see that the name of this particular instrument, Ruan xian, if you have the whole word, is slightly longer than the name for each other instrument, right? So Erhu, short, Pipa, short, Di, short, but Ruan xian is longer name, okay? It's because this instrument was actually later on renamed after a philosopher who is also at the same time a musician who is so good at playing that particular instrument, make a very big name for himself by probably the best person ever played that instrument. So then the instrument named after that person. So the scholar's name is Ruan xian. Scholar's name is Ruan xian. And this particular instrument, they have several different sizes, right? So For example, my friend here is holding one, but you see there is another one that is a little bit bigger size. I hope I did not block anybody. Okay, all right. So 越大的声越低沉，对不对？ The bigger the instrument, the lower the sound. Okay, so this is the lower pitch that will produce a higher pitch, 软弦. Okay, 软弦 also produce a kind of mellow sound, a little bit like a guitar or banjo. So that's that has a nickname about Chinese guitar or banjo. So we are going to ask you to do a demonstration. 做一个示范。你就不会给他，有点出来。因为他们那个不会高声去。 I asked her to demonstrate the lower sound.你可以做一个传统的吗？刚才那个比较像西方，可以做一个传统的，一个很短的就好了。可以有这个传统声音、传统的音乐，可以哈。等一下 ，Okay, what we just hear here are more Western sound music playing, right? I'm asking Miss Lin to demonstrate the traditional sound. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we are going to introduce Yangqin. It's a Chinese dulcimer. Okay, this is sometimes called as butterfly qin too, because the shape, as you can see, resemble a butterfly. Okay, the shape itself resemble butterfly. It's probably also the most cosmopolitan instrument, because it not only has its origin from the West, but then Chinese musicians make some modification to it and so on. But it's probably also the instrument that is used worldwide most often by symphony and so on. So they try to incorporate that element as well. So that's sometimes we call it the most cosmopolitan instrument among the 6 instruments that we are seeing today. Okay, and you can see that Miss Li has 2 bamboo beater there. Okay, that they are trying to produce sound that is gentle by the beater. Okay, but it can also, that beater can use in many different ways. You can use a tip to, you can plug with the end. Slide. You can do the sliding. Can you, 你可以 你用手吗？还是没有？ You can also use hands to fingers to pluck it. So it's a very versatile instrument as well. Okay, now because as I mentioned earlier, it's probably the most cosmopolitan instrument among the 6. And today, Yangqin has a position almost like a piano in the West. It's an indispensable instrument in Chinese opera, in Chinese chamber music, etc. Okay? All right, 你要弹一个短的吗？演奏一下 ，OK。All right, so now we are going to move into Chinese lute, also produced as pipa. Okay, this instrument is actually is an instrument that is cross-cultural in the sense that it is resulted from the cultural encounter and so on. So originally, it was through its contact with India around 350 AD. So it has a very unique sound produced by it. And it also uses a technique about plucking and pushing and so on. It's different from Ruan in the sense that the pipa use fingers to pluck and pick and so on. But for Ruan, you use the piece, there is a particular name for that. Platinum? A pick, in order to produce a sound like a guitar. Okay, so now we are going to ask 慧宽丁芒水舞的声音好不好？先用舞，你有文武两式吗？先做舞的，然后等一下先做舞的，完了以后我讲文的，你再做文的，然后你再做 demo 好不好？你有一个短的歌是不是？还是这两个歌都？啊？舞曲跟文曲。OK， 那做 demo 完了以后，就还要再做一个曲子还是没有的 ？OK。Let Miss Lee is going to demonstrate. One is the martial music. We call Wu, like Kung Fu. Okay, so it's for military use. She will do that first. After that, she's going to do the cultural style. Okay, the gentle style now for martial art. Go ahead. Martial style. Okay, now they are going to do the civil style. She's going to do the civil style. Thank you. Okay, this is our last instrument that we would introduce. Okay, this is what we call Di. That is the Chinese pronunciation for flute. There are two different kinds of Di. One is called 曲笛, the other is called 班笛. Okay, 你可以给他们看一下曲笛吗？有没有 example? Okay, 曲笛, 班笛. What is the difference? Yes, go ahead. Yes, very good. So 曲笛 is the longer one. Okay, it produces a more solemn sound, and you play it vertically, right? And then this one is 班笛. It produces a more high-pitched sound. It's more for happy sound, and you can play it horizontally. You blow it in that way. Okay, so this one also, you will see that it has 8 different holes. The only wind instrument we see today. So 6 holes here are controlling the pitches and so on. One is for blowing, okay? And then there's another one is for this is a membrane. That is usually made of today of cane weed, and then they make the membrane out of that. It's more flexible compared to the old way of making it. That is either out of a bamboo inside lining, or for example, sheep's intestine. Okay, so it does not produce as good a sound as cane weed. So cane reed. So today this one here is cane reed. All right. So we are going to ask Wu 老师, Mr. Wu, to demonstrate. First of all, 班笛. Very good, thank you. 谢谢老师. Like the Moon Festival this year, every year the date change because Chinese calendar, Asian calendar, usually called the lunar calendar rather than solar calendar because it follows the movement of the moon. Okay, so typically Asian Moon Festival fall on the 8th month of the lunar calendar on the 15th, because it's believed that that particular day the moon is the fullest. And the circle symbolizes unity and happiness. So that's a day that all the family try to make time to be with each other, to celebrate the family bond, the unity of the community, and most importantly, in agriculture in the past, in China in the past, that it's very important to thank heaven and earth for a wonderful harvest that year. So Moon Festival also play that role, kind of like our Thanksgiving in a way. Okay, so to celebrate the community, to celebrate good harvest. Okay, So I do have a couple videos, but if we have time, we'll do that. Then there are many different stories associated with the Moon Festival. One very famous one is called Lady Chang'e. So in the picture here is Chang'e, a very beautiful lady. That there is actually a clip about that particular story. So I thought you may enjoy it. Okay, so I'm going to play that one.
Once upon a time, there were 10 suns in the sky. People were so suffering from the heat and nothing would grow. Then there was a great archer. His name is Hou. Hou said to the heavenly queen he could help shoot down the suns. After shooting down 9 suns from the sky, the heavenly queen gave Hou a pill that would make him live forever. However, Hou was not a very good man. He was cruel and liked to kill. Chang'e is Hou's wife. She thought it would not be a good idea for Hou to live forever. Right after she took the pill, she flew off to the moon. It's sad that she has lived on the moon ever since.
Okay, now many people know that the Moon Festival was celebrated in China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and so on. But perhaps very few people know it was celebrated in the Philippines and also in Thailand, in many other Asian countries too. So I'd like to share a very short clip here is about how the Moon Festival was celebrated in Thailand. Okay, very short one.
The Full Moon Festival kicked off in Thailand on Sunday. People across the country gathered along rivers and lakes to celebrate.
Locals and tourists across Thailand celebrated the full moon with the Loy Krathong festival on Sunday. Loy Krathong falls on the 12th month of the year on the traditional Thai lunar calendar. Most of the festivities were held on riverbanks and by lakes, where people worship the goddess of rivers with small floats decorated with flowers, candles, and joss sticks. It is a time for worshippers to pray and make their wishes for good luck before releasing their float onto the water and carry away all bad things.
I pray for peace, unity and happiness in the country, and I pray for my good health and long life.
It is also a tourism highlight for Thailand, when visitors have their chance to take part in the Asian culture. The ailing 83-year-old Thai king also took part in the festival. Sources say his health has improved, but remains in the hospital for further treatment.
Okay, so here are just samples about the celebration. You can find a lot on YouTube. If your parents allows, then you can look at more different clips there. All right, so we are going to now. Okay, before we get the instrument, before the happy ending. Okay, I think you all have the tea. You all have the tea and the mooncake here. So I like to invite Chai Fang Music Workshop Taifeng to play 月圆花好, Full Moon and Blooming Flowers. There are 6 CDs there. Those are prizes. Can you bring it over here for me? Okay, this is a song to celebrate Asian Moon Festival. Let's say that if we yell very loud, the club asking for uncle, they will do another very difficult song for us. Should we call uncle? Yes? Uncle!